Hey guys, Chinmay here. Welcome to Upskillian. So let's discuss about this particular interview question where you would be straightforward asked, what is Power Query? Or what do you know about Power Query? Let me tell you guys that Power Query is not only a part of Power BI. Microsoft in other products like Excel has also introduced Power Query. When asked about what is a Power Query, the first answer should be it is an inbuilt ETL tool. Now guys, what is ETL? E stands for extraction of data, T stands for transform of data, and L stands for load of data. Got it? Now, the key feature of Power Query is data connectivity, guys. Now, what is data connectivity? So, Power Query has a lot of connectors, which helps Power BI to connect to different data sources. I've already covered about connectors in my previous video. The other feature of Power Query is data transformation. Now, what is data transformation? Data transformation is about cleaning the data or transforming the data or preparing the data so that it's ready for visualization. That's the ultimate end of any BI tool, right? So Power Query is like your washing machine of Power BI. Why do I call Power Query as a washing machine of Power BI? Because it cleans the data and prepares the data for the rest of the activities like data modeling, writing DAGs, developing visuals, and lot more. Got it? The other key feature about Power Query is data profiling. Now what's a data profiling, guys? In data profiling, we get to know what type of data we have. Do we have more null values? Do we have a lot of duplicates? Or do we have more unique values? So in data profiling, we get to know the quality of the data that we have, and then we can take a decision whether we want to remove a column, remove a row, or do some transformations on top of that. Right? Other key feature about Power Query is query editor. So now what's a query editor, guys? Query editor is basically the part of Power Query where we can do the transformation. And whatever transformations we do in the back end, there is a M code that is written. Now remember guys, M stands for mashup language. Okay. Now the other functionality of Power Query is data load options. So what is data load options? As I said, Power Query transforms the data or the table or prepares it to move to the next level, that's Power Pivot. Okay, now enough of theoretical part. Let's move to my laptop and let's see how Power Query looks like. Okay, so as you can see guys, now I am in a blank screen. I've just opened my Power BI desktop application. Now the first thing that I have to do here is connect to a data source and bring the data here or import the data here. For that, I have to go to get data, click on any of the data source. For time being, I'll be using Excel as a data source. So I'll click on Excel. I'll select a sample data set that I have with me for practice purpose. Now you can see that Power BI connected to the data source and it got me the name of the tables it could retrieve from that. You could see that the names are like orders, people, and returns, right? And if you properly observe guys, towards the right side, I see a preview option. I get to know how my table looks like. Like here if you see, when I click on people, I see that the table is not good. Why? Because there are some null rows. So here you can see the column headers are not properly aligned, right? The first row has to be the column headers. The null has to be removed. Now if you go to returns table, same story here. Here the column headers are not properly aligned And if I scroll down, I do not see any null here. Okay, fine. Now if I go to orders, things looks somewhat good here. And if I hover the mouse and go to the last, I could see there's a column named column 22 which is completely blank or null. So I'd prefer to remove that. So basically in all these three tables, I could see that the data has to be cleaned. There has to be some sort of transformation done, right? So see guys, what I did now is extracting the data from the data source, right? And now in the bottom, if you see, I have an option called transform data and load data, right? But they are not highlighted. Why? Unless and until I click on this check boxes, they will not be highlighted. The very moment I go and click on any of this checkbox, you can see that the transform data and load data got highlighted. So now it means that I can clean this particular table or do some transformation. Okay, now let me click on transform data and let's see what happens. As you can see guys, a new window got opened here. Why did I say a new window got opened? Just see here. Can you see two new windows opening here? So here I can see that a Power Query editor window got opened, right? Remember guys, Power Query always opens in a new window, unlike Power Pivot or Power View. Okay. So this is how your Power Query looks like. Now, because I am in Power Query, let me quickly do the transformations, right? So here, the first thing that I have to do is I have to convert or promote the first row as headers. How do I do that? There's an option here called use first row as headers in the home tab. I'll just go and click on that and that's it. And if you notice guys, towards the right side, the whatever transformations I'm doing, it's getting noted down. I'll be covering that in one of the subsequent video where we'll be discussing about the applied steps. Now, if I go to people table, I could see the same thing here, that the first row has to be converted to headers, right? Let me go and click on use first row as headers. Now, after that, what I have to do here is remove the null or filter out the null. So I'll click on this drop down, click on null and click on OK, right? So right now this particular table is also cleaned or transformed, right? Now let's go to orders, and as we saw in orders, things look to be fine. Now what we have to do here is just remove that extra column which is not required or which is complete blank or null. I'll go to the last, hover to the last, right click here and click on remove. That's it. So basically in Power Query you could see that I did all these transformations, and now what I'll do is I'll load it to the next level, that's Power Pivot. How? There is an option in the home tab called close and apply. I'll click on close and apply, and now you can see that the L part or the load is happening. That's why we call ETL. Remember guys, I extracted the data from the data source. Now I did some transformations in Power Query and then loaded, and now I am in Power Pivot. That is the Power BI architecture that we were discussing about in one of the previous videos. Right guys, I hope practically you understood what a Power Query does and you will be able to answer the same in the interviews. Thank you for watching. All the best guys. Hey guys, I hope you loved this video. If yes, please like this video, subscribe to Upskillian, and if you want more such videos, please put it in the comment section. Thank you everyone. Have a great day.